The staff welfare. Staff welfare. If you want to do internal cleansing, you want to ask your people not to be corrupt, by virtue of the work we do, we face people who can close their eyes and say, look, they are going to offer you $5 million to drop a particular case, and you look later and say, what do you have to lose? We have case people that will go out, will discover assets, stolen assets, probably you took about 10 houses. They say, look, leave 5 for them, and they will pay for the remaining 5. And when you have an operative that is not well paid, not well remunerated, nobody will know. It could easily suppress discoveries. For us to really be to be able to deliver on this mandate the way Nigerians expect us, with utmost integrity and transparency, it is important to look into the welfare of our staff, of my men. In our small way, we are trying to do what we can do to improve, particularly this era of increment in fuel prices and all of that. We've been able to secure about 5 CNG buses, at least to aid, to support our, they are coming to work and going home and all of that. But much more, we need to help us look into our welfare very seriously, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. We are going to do everything possible to ensure that we restore the dignity and the image of EFCC. By virtue of the work we do, let Nigerians know that corruption does not pay. We embark on this journey, and with the modest achievement we have made, we want to say that we wouldn't have done that without the support of this committee, particularly in the area of recovery of assets, which is very key to the fight against corruption, and also our convictions over what we recorded in 2023. In 2024, we had more than 1,000 convictions over the figure of 2023. And we were able to also more than double our recovery, both tangible and intangible assets, last year over 2023 as well. And also, most importantly, we embark on a journey of internal cleansing. You can't do this work when your hands are soiled. And that's the point we made to our management team and the entire staff. And I want to also tell this committee that I've gotten the cooperation of my entire management team that there is need for us to do proper internal cleansing. And that has actually started. And very soon, all of you will be proud of the commission called the EFCC. So having said that, I will quickly run through budget performance for year 2024 with the approval of the chair of the committee. I'm highly delighted to lead the EFCC team once again to the annual budget session with the House Committee on Financial Crimes. Mr. Chair, permit me to acknowledge the support of the committee to the EFCC over the years. We sincerely appreciate this relationship with this honorable, our relationship with this honorable committee, and looks forward to a more beneficial relationship in year 2025. 2024 appropriation performance. The Commission approved appropriation for 2024 fiscal year was 56,813,873 naira and 873 naira, no kobo. The total releases to the Commission stood at 52,406,183,383 naira 03 kobo. Now, the entire releases represent 92% of total appropriation, leaving a balance of 4,433,430,489 naira 97 kobo, or 8% proportionately of the entire amount, mostly from the capital component of the appropriation as outstanding by 31st of December 2024. Under the releases, we have personnel costs, 100% release, 37 billion, 73 million, 666,333 naira 7 kobo. And under the overhead, we had about 99.99% release, which represents 14,792,985,669 naira 75 kobo. And our capital cost, we have just so far recorded about 30%, 538,337,270 naira. Finally, may I, on behalf of the board, management, and staff of the commission, thank the honorable members of this committee for giving us the opportunity to appear before you to defend our 2024 budget performance. Now we have the breakdown of the releases, which represent the entire appropriation, the actual releases, the actual expenditure, the commitment, particularly of capital, which has not dropped. You know the way, because we don't have direct control over capital. We just present our documents, and we don't want to present documents for projects that have not been completed or executed. So that's why we could have that outstanding. Then the total sum utilized, then the percentage of the amount utilized, and the percentage utilized on appropriation as well, and the 2024 outstanding unreleased. So may I also invite the members of the committee probably to flip through. We have the complete breakdown there. I don't want to bore you with all that, but probably if you just flip through, if there are areas of concern, we are ready to take questions. Finally, before I round off, having drawn the attention of the committee to the performance of the year 2024, it's also imperative to also make mention of one or two challenges that we are faced with, given the appropriation for 2024, which of course was not enough for our operations. In 2024, the year under reference, alone, the chair and members of the committee will receive petitions of over 15,000 petitions across the entire commission. We were able to open case file investigation on over 11,000 petitions within a year. An average team in EFCC of probably 4 or 5 people investigate as many as 200, 250 cases. And there are cases that you need to investigate as many as over 100 accounts. And for us to make headway in some of these investigations, you need to be diligent. Take your time and all of that. And when you have limited capacity, it can one way or the other affect the delivery of your mandate. So one of the major constraints, challenges we have, is the shortage of manpower. I have less than 5,000 staff within a year. I'll just give you 1 year figure, not the one that we inherited from the year 2023 and below and down. So you can just imagine that. In last year alone, we filed over 5,000 cases in court. And you can, how many lawyers do I have to prosecute these cases? And this happened because Nigeria is a large country. We have over 600 FDAs at the federal level alone. And anywhere you have human engagement, there must be corruption. Even in the most, even the safest environment, there is corruption. And before you talk of the 36 states plus FCT, before you talk about 774 local governments, so petitions keep coming in, from both private and public sectors. Despite the fact that we have threshold, so staff capacity is shortfall. It's one of our major challenges. Lastly, we operate in an era of technology. You only be deceiving yourself now if you are still looking at the style and the system we adopted 10 years ago in fighting corruption. Somebody wants to steal money in a bank those days. You will go with your gun, attack everybody, throw this inside, blow up everywhere, rush in and carry money. Now these days, nobody, that's why you don't have cases of breaking into banks anymore. Nobody steals money with the gun anymore. At the press of a button, you move 10 million, you move any amount you want to move. And so if you want to also be diligent in your work and be result-oriented, at the press of a button, you must be able to arrest the flow of any, any process of crime. And for you to do that, we need technology. And so we want to create the indulgence of this committee as well to help us to look into that. There are intelligence platforms we are trying to see how we can procure. There are licenses that we need to renew. There are, things that will aid our smooth and diligent investigation and prosecution that we need to also procure. And that's part of the things we have put in our 2025 budget, which we'll be presenting to you tomorrow. So on this note, I'd like to rest my case, Mr. Chair, Deputy Chair, and honorable members of the committee. Thank you very much.
I requested that he let us know his challenges, and I think he has simply told us his challenges, starting from that of shortage of manpower to welfare of the staff and to technology. When you look at the capital appropriation of EFCC, you will see that it's just a joke. Yeah. If we really want to fight crime in this country, we must look at the capital aspect of the budget and appropriate well there. Give them something that's adequate for them to procure the current technology that is used to fight crime, even outside this country. So, distinguished colleagues, I will open the floor for us to speak to the reasons why we are here. Honorable Oga.
For accountability, being a ranking member of National Assembly, I've been witnessing a budget performance. But what you have really presented before us today have really shown that you are ready and willing to work and transform Nigeria. And Mr. Chairman, sir, I just want you to still have more liaison with your Senate counterparts. The budget being appropriated to EFCC is not enough compared to what they are doing. So that the committee should raise a memo requesting for additional funds to enable them to perform their work. You can see now, Nigeria not being molested as it were before now. If you travel out, you find out that it's not as we are being harassed in a border, in embassy, is as if because of what a good work that EFCC have done. So I rest my case. When it is time, I suggest that the chairman should take a bow because he have a prudent performance of the budget 2024. Thank you.
Okay. EFCC. In all the places or the branches in our EFCC offices, please, as part of your 2025 appropriation, I think you will feel that committees will appropriate money for you to build EFCC offices. Because, for instance, if you are renting an office and you're investigating your landlord, you know, there's tendency that they will be compromised. That is my own suggestions for now.
Okay, Honorable Kafila.
Okay.
Our guests here present, my name is Kafila Togbara. I represent Kushofe Federal Constituency, and I'm from Lagos State, the Center of Excellence. I came late. Apologies for coming late. It's not in my character to get to events like this late. I want to commend the EFCC Chairman and his team for all the efforts that they have been putting in place to continue to rescue Nigeria. Because as it stands today, the EFCC remains the major establishment that we see that can actually ensure that, corruption is reduced to the barest minimum. And I want to say that even at the level of our training outside the premises as a committee and oversight, the EFCC has been able to prove itself as a body that is really ready, to fight corruption at any level and at any point in time. So my suggestion is that the needs of the EFCC cannot be overemphasized, and we need to escalate this to the presidential level, because this is an establishment that needs to be catered for and that has to be independent in all ramification. So there is no reason for the EFCC to have to, plead for welfare or ask for whatever it is that they need. They are already, as a body, generating a lot of income in their own way. We cannot call it income. But when you have proceeds of corruption, they are doing a lot of recoveries, and they are, ensuring that we are even having a lot of more, funds at the, federal level from different spheres, even internationally. So there's no reason, there's no excuse for the EFCC to lack in needs that will ensure that, what they need to do to deliver their mandate is not hampered. So I want to appeal to this committee that what we need to do, we should take it seriously. 2025 is another year, and we are going to have an election year in 2026, and this is the only year that we really need to put in our best to ensure that the EFCC, stands its ground to ensure that corruption is reduced to the barest minimum in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think there should be some agencies and some ministry of government that should be exempted from this, and this thorough zero-based budgeting that we are clamoring for should be applied in those cases, where we would establish what exactly is needed by these agencies and by these ministries in order for them to deliver on what they need to be delivered on. And then appropriation is made on the basis of that, and also releases are also made on the basis of that. Because in this case, not only, are we talking about the amount that is budgeted, even the release as far as capital, it's also a bit low. But I think some of those might be dead, like you said, when we get to the budget section. So my own submission is that we should look at a situation where some of these agencies of government that are critical to our existence actually looked into very well, and we're not limited only by the envelope that is given to them. And I think EFCC appears to be one of those. Thank you very much.
Deputy Chairman, distinguished honorable colleagues, Chairman, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Honorable Chief Dr. Philip Agbese. I represent the good people of Ado Poku, Obadibo Federal Constituency, and I'm from Benue State. Mr. Chairman, I want to start by riding on what distinguished honorable colleagues have said concerning the performance of the EFCC. And I want to be categorical because it is just in recent time that we are seeing this level of performance. I am a trained human rights expert in law, and of course, one area in particular which the EFCC was failing in the past was the area of human rights. In fighting crime, we equally have to respect the rights of individuals. And I think in the last few months, you've been on the saddle, you have really improved on that. That is the aspect that is added to our international reputation as a country that is fighting corruption. It is not just about arresting people, detaining people, and harassing them, but of course to ensure that the rights of everybody, no matter how highly placed or low, is respected at the cost of investigation. You've done well in that regard. And secondly, sir, another concern, it has to do with the EFCC state offices. In the past, when investigations used to be, you invite people from a long distance, they come to Abuja and they go through all of that. They fear to even commit crime, at the lower level, local government level, state level was there. But today, people drink around EFCC offices, and the next day you invite them to the same offices, they see the same faces, they've socialized with the previous day, interrogating them. That fear that the commission used to have at that local level has been taken away, and I think it is something we must look at. And what my colleague said earlier, Mr. Chairman, sir, I want to create your indulgence that we move a motion before the House that some critical national institutions like the EFCC are exempted from this envelope system of budgeting. Because if we really want the EFCC to work, today we are all convinced that yes, there is a leadership that is working and can deliver. So it makes it easier for all of us, to propose and support that kind of motion that the EFCC and other critical national institutions are exempted from the envelope system, to support them to work and deliver to all of us and make us proud in what they are doing. Lastly, Mr. Chairman, I would also like to commend you, because before I came here, I was in the civil society, I was very active, and I know the problems that some agencies created for the federal government. Of course, this is the People's Parliament, in Nigeria's National Assembly, but I'm of the APC, and I'm proud and happy that Mr. President has appointed you, and you have not caused this unnecessary friction, between the Commission and the National Assembly. Some arms of government are doing that. It is not good for the image of Mr. President. It is not helping. I think in this regard, you have also done well, respecting the Parliament as a lawmaking body, and we appreciate that. So this is my submission, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Given the privilege to introduce myself, I am Honorable David Ebefwa. I represent the people of Kashaka Kogi Sadona. I'm from Taraba State. I want to key into the earlier speakers regarding the performance of the EFCC in the last year or so. Under your leadership, EFCC has been able to convince us now that they are battle ready to curb crime in our country. So, but the other areas, Nigerians, because we are representing Nigerians, with the aspect we still want the EFCC to work on is this aspect of recoveries. How do you manage the process of crime recovered, and especially properties that are recovered? At times they are, they remain under seal for over years. They get, dilapidated, completely wear out. So I think, Chairman, you need to work on that aspect. If recoveries are made, especially those that has to do with asset, physical buildings and so on, there should be a quick, a way of handling it so that the properties should not completely wear out and they get to a level that you can no longer have any value for it. So that is the aspect we want the EFCC to work upon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I must say that those that want people that are commended for what they have done, all they are saying that they need to do be done as made. Secondly, I want to say that when people that our members are saying that we should be able to raise the budget for EFCC, it is them, based on procurement, that this would need assessment. It is the EFCC that will come up with what they want. In that the envelope they were given did not meet up that requirement. It is when they come up with that proposal, it is we now then give it to us. We now work on it. I have been in a committee in 2024 when I personally moved a motion for a minister for office planning to come and attend why you should give a particular envelope to a ministry that's supposed to get it. Because the ministry are very lost with their proposal of what they want to do. So we work with that fact. But in the event you are saying the members, we are not the one that will raise the budget for it. It is you that will raise your budget proposal based on your need assessment. And when we have your need assessment, now pass it to the chairman, then we will scrutinize it and know whether it actually requires a critical increment of your budget. And that's how it works. So I'm of the view that now that everybody is sitting that need to increase the value of the money they are giving, it is EFCC, the chairman, and the that will give us the proposal on their need assessment. And that is what we are going to work with in order to enable you have the required resources to execute your deal. Thank you once more. And now that you have done well this year, we know that next year we'll do better. Thank you.
We had a private meeting yesterday between myself and the Senate Chairman, Senator Udende, and they have done that. I think they have done a proposal of what they want. We will see that tomorrow during their budget defense. And we have also looked at it, and we feel that when we present it to the committee, thereafter we will take it up with the appropriation committee to see what we can get, especially from the capital side of the budget.
The members have maybe spoken my mind in some areas. The last retreat, we suggested EFCC coming up with amendments that we can work on. For example, we're talking about this, capital project, or even the need for more capital, more cash for your operations. the ways of amending the bill for the bill of the for the EFCC. For example, there's a possibility of maybe amending in such a way that, access seats, you can retain certain part, certain percentage, which will be used, in your operations. Those are the things I don't want to go to, deep into, but the committee can help in that area in providing more fund for the committee by amending the act that governs EFCC, so that animal income from sale of sale of assets or from whatever you recover, if it's only like 10%, 20% or something, that would be in addition to what is the envelope that you'll be given. So I don't want to talk too much on that. Thank you.
In order to appreciate your efforts, talking strategically, I observed the desire for the agency to even transform itself with the in-house cleansing that you are embarking upon. This is commendable. However, I look with my background in human resources management, I look at your commission with a staff strength of over 4,000 personnel and still asking for more. With the attendant Nigerian situation, civil unrest, staff agitation here and there, I don't know what mechanism that you have in place to cope with the ensuring challenges in due course. However, I want to ask one pertinent question. Shouldn't you consider upscaling your technology rather than increasing the number of staff? This is my question. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
I want to also thank you for the modest commendation, and also on behalf of my entire management team. Believing God that this year will not also let you down. We will do everything within our power to improve on whatever modest achievement you have made in year 2024. Having said that, I also want to let you know that some of the issues raised are issues that we have also tried to address in our proposal, which we're going to look at tomorrow. For example, the issue of the acquisition of permanent structures for our offices. We have also adequately addressed that in our budget proposal. Yes, we have been given operating envelope system. We also expressed some concern about it. Particularly, I had a meeting with the DG budget office, and he also looked at it and he agreed with us that that is not right for us. That going forward, we should make a presentation and they're going to look at it. So I'm believing that year 2025 or the 2026 budget, before then, we should be able to send in our proposal to the budget office to see the possibility of taking us out of the envelope system. Because the envelope that you are looking at is like somebody will just sit down and say, this is the capital I'm giving you, without really taking consideration of our needs and its assessment, which for us is not too good. And in the envelope system, there are the template they use does not even fit into our own operation. It doesn't fit into our own arrangement, because there are things that we can't put out there, so we are working on that as well. The concern raised by the honourable member with respect to the recoveries, management of recoveries and process of crime, I respectfully submit that our mandate does not extend to determining what we do with our recovered assets. The provision of Process of Crime Act actually guides our what we do. We forfeit, we recover, we forfeit, and we hand over to the government, because we forfeit on behalf of the federal government. So we don't determine, except they come together and say, look, do this with it, or go and sell by public auction, or manage, pending the time the government will decide on what to do. Some of those assets are also allocated to MDAs who don't have offices and all of that. The money we recover goes into federation account. We don't even have access to that account. We don't manage the account. We can't withdraw from it. So we don't really determine what we do with forfeited assets. That is purely the issue of law, which we don't have control over. I agree with you, sir. There are some of these things that over the time the value get dissipated. We are not also comfortable with that. In fact, at some point, we even have to use our money to ensure that we maintain some of these assets. And the reason is that some of these assets we forfeit. Some of them are not under final forfeiture. Some of them are under interim, and the matter is in court. Until the matter is determined, you can't do anything. As a matter of fact, we have just devised a means now with my director of legal and the assets forfeiture police of crime people that look, henceforth we'll be filing applications. Sometimes a criminal case takes an average of 5 years, 5-10 years. Now, some of these assets, by the time you don't utilize them, they begin to depreciate in value. So what we now intend to do going forward is to file an application and look, why don't you allow us to dispose these assets and put the money in an escrow account? So whichever way the matter goes, we would now, instead of allowing some of this into, for example, there was a time we recover assets that is so, if you don't do anything about under 3 months, the thing gets spoiled. It can't fit for purpose anymore. As a such situation, we did not allow us to continue to look at it and say, look, it is an exhibit. You can't touch it. You can't do this and all of that. So we also believe that we must also bring in some novelty in the area of application of our principles of law, which we are trying to explore going further. That is with respect to interim forfeiture, which we don't have control over. The best we do is, if it has to do with real estate, we list them, we manage them and put the money in the escrow account pending the determination of the case. Now, the issue of detention of parts of our forfeited assets, well, that is going to be majorly the issue of law. It is what you put in our acts that we are bound to operate within. If, for example, the process of crime says 2%, and we look at it, we had a management meeting, and we look at that provision specifically, and we discover that you can't even take 2% of everything. It's only 2% of probably what we refer to as direct recovery, the one that goes to the federation account. Even that 2%, you can't even do anything until the end of the year, where you now present all your report and all of that, and determine what the 2% represent and all of that. There are provisions of law, that is section 70, 71, and 72 of POCA, that determines what that will amount to or what you can do with it. So those are areas of challenges for us as well. Now, finally, the issue of the manpower, sir. I asked for manpower, and I have given you a few statistics to buttress that request. I told you the number of petitions we recorded last year alone, and also an average team, what they are faced with in terms of investigation and prosecution, the number of case files. Sometimes you see our lawyers will feel for them, sir. They are jumping from one high court to another. A lawyer sometimes can attend their proceedings 3 times in a day, jumping, with their wig and gown, and sometimes they lose their wig and the thing fall off. So you pity them. And that's one of the challenges, that we don't have enough logistics. We need support in logistics. So, sir, you see, our point is, because of the current state of development in Nigeria, you still have to adopt hybrid, what I call the hybrid system. Yes, you see, in a place, if I work with FBI or NCA, at the press of a button in the UK, I can get the attention of everybody. I can know your, financials. I know the assets you have. I know everything about you. So it's easy for me to investigate. But here, even with what NIMC has done, with what and all of that, we still have issues with data collection and data analysis. So those are issues, and some of these you still have to do it manually. You have to go to, for example, if I need a record of a politically exposed person in Code of Conduct Bureau, I can't from my office view it. But if under a situation where you have, you're technologically strong, you can be on that. So you actually have to go apply. They too, it's not their fault. They still have to go back to their archives, start looking for mutilated files and all of that stuff. So not until we have what we call a complete e-governance system. A complete e-governance system that is beyond us. It's not what you have control over. It will be difficult for us to say, look, we want to just go by way of technology alone. So there are things we still have to do manually. And when you have to do them manually, you need manpower. You need men to go out, conduct searches, to go out to get arrests and all of that stuff. So the nature of our work, demands that we combine both technology and also manual. So that's why we have said to adopt that hybrid. So as we are investing in technology, we see also more personnel to work. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Deputy Chairman, distinguished colleagues, and the clerk, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have had a good meeting, and let me also announce that by tomorrow we are going to do the joint budget defense. We will expect our members to also be punctual like today. Chairman, want to promise you that we will do everything we can to ensure that we strengthen the commission. We strengthen them financially and otherwise, including the unfinished matter we have. I just asked him, he said the bill is with the Attorney General. So when they bring it here, you can be sure that we will take it up from this angle and ensure that we play our whole part. So on that note, honorable members, can somebody move that we adjourn this sitting synod, so that at least we've had a busy day. Yeah, Honorable Gilo.